As we're talking about the Vision for a New Century campaign, looking to the future of OBU, carrying us forward decades, it's probably a good time at the start of the campaign to give a quick review of how we got to this point.
Well, naturally, OBU began planning decades ago, and certainly in the years leading up to my arrival, John Parrish, during his interim, had already done a great deal of work with the needs analysis, the Vision 2005 that your team utilized heavily, and we assembled a good group that represented a broad cross-section of alumni, of friends of OBU.
It was kind of like there was a tributary already flowing.
Certainly. And
with the new administration, we fed into it. We developed a core values
leave it to Norman to
force.
put it into an analogy of tributaries
and then a SWOT analysis, and all of these converged with things that were already in motion, and sort of a synergy began to build to lead us to, I think, where we are today.
So why aren't we calling it the Mighty River Campaign?
Because he didn't choose the title.
That's right. What I really like is that in addition to having feedback from on-campus constituents.
Right, faculty, staff, students.
Absolutely. We began to ask our donors and our friends and our alums about where do we need to go for the future.
That's right.
And we got their feedback, and we were able to use that feedback mixed with the feedback that we got on campus to put together an OBU 2020 plan.
And OBU 2020 is sort of the broad-based initiatives that we hope to achieve, right. And the Vision for a New Century actually drills down a little closer to what we're specifically going to be doing relative to that strategic plan.
Really a phase one of probably a three-phase process.
I've often thought about OBU 2020. Is it really OBU 2020, or are there a few projects in there that are beyond?
Yeah, OBU 2050 is probably a little more like it. Yeah. But what's good about that is we're looking at not just a 5-year, 10-year strategic plan. We're thinking about helping the next generation of faculty, staff, and administration here at OBU to set the trajectory of where this institution needs to continue.
From an academic point of view, Stan, what do you think is the most exciting project we've got in this first phase?
Well, one that is a great need is our nursing building.
I think of all the ones that came up, it was pretty much agreed by all constituents.
Since 1952, we are the oldest nursing baccalaureate program in the state. And we've grown consistently and carefully, and we are bursting in our current space.
And we've got nursing graduates getting jobs. Yeah. I mean, the success
100%.
rate. And what's cool about that to me is we do such a good job with our liberal arts core curriculum that our nursing graduates often are moving into leadership positions in the hospitals, organizations where they're at. And they can cross over disciplines because they're so well prepared. And having a new facility to build on that.
Yeah, our new facility will embrace where we currently are and move us, in a sense, advancing the mission of this program into its next phase.
I've got to tell you, at the strategic planning retreat where we began to define these specific projects, I'll never forget Dean Bolthouse. Came in a few minutes late after one of those meetings wearing one of those cardboard placard things, campaigning for the College of Nursing. Shamelessly campaigning.
And,
well, the great thing about the building is it's not just a house for academic programs. That's an essential part. But it's also a front door to the institution.
Absolutely. It'll change the whole appearance as one pulls on to the campus from Kickapoo onto MacArthur. And
that's going to give us, like you say, a new face, a new feel. It's going to put one of our strong academic areas right there, the first thing that some people see in MacArthur. But a second priority in this campaign is our Student Services Center,
which does
and the grand entrance. We've got a couple of options to build on our historic, beautiful campus setting with some much needed facilities.
That's right. Not only does it help provide that beautiful entrance to the campus, but a critical need, which is to have a one-stop shop for all new students for enrolling, paying their bills, where everything they need is in that one facility.
I was just going to say, and this is built in a way that will enhance the campus. We are really reorienting the front door, and that front door will be a focal point. The most focal point on our campus is Rayleigh Chapel. The spire captures the attention, it draws you to it.
From miles away.
And it will pull all those to our campus to that focal point, to our new front door, to our student services complex.
Which is very logical when you're saying,
come to OBU.
We're pulling you to the point you need to be.
That's right.
That's a nice logical aspect.
Which is absolutely essential because of our multiple entrances. where do you go to enter the campus? That's often a question we hear. Shawnee, when the campus was originally built, that's where everybody entered.
Yeah,
now everybody comes from the interstate, and so the campus needs to be almost reoriented in terms of an entrance. And I think what the great thing about the Student Services Building offers us as a grand entrance, it offers us a place to invite our alumni and our friends to come and be welcomed on a place in campus that this is your place, and to be greeted and to be welcomed here.
And when we accomplish that, another major project for the campaign is the renovation of AG Residence Center, what a lot of our alumni, knew years before at Brotherhood. The neat thing about a college, you can change the name of a building over a 4-year cycle, but honoring, that legacy of Brotherhood, the legacy of Dr. Agee's presidency here. It's a massive building. It's very well constructed.
And I might interject, what a fitting name, because when we talk about strategic planning,
he wrote the book.
He wrote the book on strategic planning for Christian universities and colleges.
So we have the opportunity to building a new residential village here on campus, which is not technically a part of the campaign, but if we don't build that residential village, just like if we don't build a new school of nursing, it's going to hamper some of the other things that we're looking at going forward.
It's a domino effect. Everything is just linked in this plan.
And we've got to have a student services, a school of nursing, so we can draw our nursing program out of Thurmond, and then we need a student services building so we can move that group. And then we need AG to move some other campus organization and programs.
Student life, spiritual life, the extension campus for the seminary.
Our alumni, our advancement offices.
Everything fits, and it's a puzzle here, and why these are also essential to the phase 1 aspect of the campaign. One of the things that I really like that we're looking at is that our mission talks about the transformation of lives.
Yes.
Vision for a New Century in our campaign and the OBU 2020 plan is also about a transformation of our campus.
That's right.
As well.
And this isn't just about brick and mortar. These are important, and they help us. But at the end of the day, we do these things to transform the lives of our students. It's about advancing our mission.
And not just the brick and mortar, but even the endowment part of the campaign, which is absolutely essential for scholarships and
our academic positions.
And centers for excellence.
And when you look at the overall campaign breakdown for this, what we see as phase 1 of the Vision for a New Century, that endowment portion is the largest financial goal. I think we're looking at $16 million.
$16 million.
And that is so critical, and it's what has helped OBU differentiate itself from other Christian liberal arts colleges over the years, is the fact that we've had that faithful support of our friends and donors, alumni, to give us a strong endowment now. That holds the cost down for students. It's helped us to attract outstanding faculty and keep them. Well, we grow this endowment in that component of the campaign that's put there. The benefit that we see from that, the stability, the ability to advance new programs, to build on those centers of excellence, a key part of OBU 2020, they're all right there.
One of the things, Marty, I think Dr. Whitlock and Dr. Norman have mentioned this quite often, is that there is a serious concern with the rise of higher education and costs. The cost of higher education, as we know, is incredible. It's growing.
And we've got to make this place affordable for the students of Oklahoma
who want to transform the world.
Who want to transform the world.
Okay. To steal your words.
And students beyond who are coming here as well.
And we've said it before, but so many things that we're talking about, I can't keep but thinking about going back to the future.
Yeah.
Because we're really just returning or re-emphasizing what's always been here since the very beginning, since before 1910 and 1906 when the original concept for Oklahoma Baptist University was formed.
We enjoy such a great heritage as Oklahoma Baptist University, trying to get that possessive S in there, because we're the only college that was started by their state convention. We have had a strong relationship. Yeah, we've had a strong relationship with Oklahoma Baptist because there wasn't some marriage of entities. We're family.
That's right.
And the opportunity that we have, when we were talking about...
And we fight like family.
We're a good family. We're an engaged family.
Right.
But the thing when we were talking about OBU 2020...
I can't help but think of the very first mascot for Oklahoma Baptist University. I don't know, as a fairly newcomer, the Battling Baptist.
Yes, that's what
I'm proud we're the Bison now.
Yeah, we've got headlines that show we're the Battling Baptist. But when we're looking at OBU 2020 and the core values and looking at some of those presidential addresses from earlier years, there's always been that thread that we're not some imitation of a state university.
Right.
There's no reason to fund
We're
something like that.
We have been consistent, we have been progressive, and we have been faithful. And I think those three components describe who we have been, who we are, and who we will be.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
We honor the founding vision of this place.
We honor our legacy.
We honor the reason we were birthed. We honor the mission that was commissioned to this university. And Vision for a New Century is about honoring those things and casting them forward into a new century.
That's right.
It's an exciting time to be at OBU.
It really is. I can't think of a place I would rather be over the next 10, 15, 20. You said
I
sometimes
think
you
he's
feel
thrown
like
out 40 years.
when he talked about OBU 2050, you'll be what, like 65 at
That's
that
right.
point?
That's right. Well, and that's really talking about what I think what draws us and compels us to be excited about being here at OBU. That we see that this is something that is a God-sized vision.
It's worthy of our
kingdom
life.
impact.
That's right.
It's something to give our lives to, and it allows us every day to be excited about being on this campus.
Because we're a part of something bigger than just higher education.
Absolutely.
And our history, it's there. It doesn't take digging too deep in the history of Oklahoma Baptist University to see the graduates that we have put forth, the product that's been produced because people invested in the university.
Right.
The leaders in science, the leaders in Southern Baptist life, the leaders in nursing, the leaders in music.
The thing I appreciate about our legacy is all of the incredible sacrifices
Yes.
that those early Baptists made in this place. And I think part of the legacy that's upon us now is essentially it's our turn.
That's right.
We have received this gift of fidelity, this gift of generosity, this gift of sacrifice, and now the mantle's on us.
Yes.
And it's our turn.
Well, it's an awesome
our turn.
It's an awesome responsibility, but it is, as you've all said, it's exciting.
Yeah, and one of the things that I have just come to love about OBU, and we talk about sacrifice, is that for 101 years now, people have sacrificed so that other people might receive the education of OBU.
And our history is replete with examples. WMU women
Selling
organizing egg sales to fund WMU dormitory. The very first president of OBU, Dr. Carroll, who sold his lifetime collection of bird specimens and paid off the debt, $2,000. We don't own the collection anymore because it was sold to another university. It was his sole possession. He gave it all.
And really, a Vision for a New Century is about this generation of OBU friends, OBU alum, OBU students, faculty, staff. It's our turn.
That's right.
The mantle's been handed to us, and we cast it forward and take it with us into this next century.
And there are so many ways for people to be involved in this specific campaign. There are objectives. We discussed a lot of them here. There are some others that we haven't gotten into, but there are objectives where everybody can find something to support in the campaign, something to embrace, and something to look back on 1, 2, 5, 10, 40 years from now and say, I made a difference for kingdom purposes because I invested in that.
People will want to have been a part
Yeah.
of what's happening and what's going to be happening.
Capital projects, centers for excellence, academic programs,
Professorships, chairs.
scholarships, athletic programs. There is a lot to offer and a lot to be involved
And
in
it
here at
seems
OBU.
it seems so trite maybe, but it's so true. The ripple effect of when
yeah.
you make that investment, when you throw that stone in the pond, the lives that are touched. We say it often, but it doesn't make it any less true. We won't know this side of eternity.
Right.
The lives that are touched
Absolutely.
because of the investments that are made on Bison Hill.
One of the things that a pastor friend of the school said recently that just really captured my heart was investing in OBU is an investment in missions.
It is.
That
Absolutely.
we don't exist for ourselves. We exist to send students out on missional engagement in whatever realm or study of life they may undertake.
Yeah, that's art, that's education, that's law,
right.
that's nursing.
So investing here is investing in law. Investing here is investing in education. Investing here is investing in.
And it's directly investing in missions as most Baptists understand missions, which is a testimony again to the faithfulness of OBU.
The global leadership.
That's right. More missionaries serving around the world who have degrees from OBU than any other university in the world. It's part of our DNA.
Which is an incredible testimony of the core values that you've talked about, incredible testimony of the mission, and the 100 years, 101 years
101.
of faithfulness. Not only people who have served here, but people who have invested here
That's right.
and given here and sacrificed here.
Well, you've got those core values. So easy to bear out in looking at the Vision for a New Century campaign. Christ-centered, we have a purpose, we have a Savior, we have a God we're seeking to glorify in how we are stewards of the resources we're given. We're excellence-driven, and that's borne out in the lives of our graduates. The learning-focused aspect, the preparation that they have when they step into the
Academically
workplace to be
excellent,
leaders,
yeah.
to be leaders,
Second to none.
servant leaders who are glorifying God through what they do. It's all part of that missional purpose
Right.
value, and to be part of that community, to be community directed where everybody's sharing in that, and everybody can share in this campaign. And again, it goes back to, you don't want to look back and say, I could have been a part of that. I didn't think it was worth it. What a mistake.
The vision we have, the vision the university has, is a vision worthy of a life and worthy of investment.
Right.
And when I'm confronted with that kind of vision, it captures my imagination, it captures my passions, it draws me in, and I can't help but want to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And I think that we're seeing that across as we carry the message, as we've carried it the past year and talking about OBU 2020 and talked about the vision and the core values. We're seeing excitement everywhere that we go about what is taking place, and most importantly, what God is doing here at this university.
Well, God is at work here.
Absolutely.
And it's evident in the lives of our students. It's evident in the leadership of our faculty and the staff, and even with Marty.
Yeah, I was going to say, I came here 20 years ago, last month, about, you were 2 months old, I think, at the time?
Yeah, thank you.
But
Although he's getting grayer with each
I
successive
wish I had
day.
gray hair. But from the first time I set foot on this place, you could tell God's blessing was here. And it's been manifested in different strengths and pursuits over the years, but there's been that core faithfulness.
That's right.
And that's what we have had the opportunity to build on, what's still there, what's still why we're a global leader in missions involvement, which is still why we are preparing Christian leaders for unique places of service and leadership
Marty,
worldwide.
it's what drew me to OBU the very first time I stepped foot on the campus, and went home that night and told my wife, I want to be a part of what's happening at OBU.
Still true.
Yeah.
He's going to make us all cry now.
Yeah. And now
That's the truth.
we get the privilege of articulating this vision and the joy of inviting friends, alums, donors, students present, students yet to come be a part. You want to get in on this. This is a God-sized, kingdom-worthy, Christ-centered vision. Come join us in this. And the Vision for a New Century, Vision for a New Century is about inviting partnerships to come and help us build a great university to even greater levels of excellence.
I couldn't have put it better.
And we can't do anything less. If we did less, we wouldn't be answering the call God's put in front of us.
We wouldn't be faithful to the charge that
Right.
we've been given.
Yeah.
Yeah.